It's 9 o'clock on a Sunday. Time to make sourdough bread. So we go to the fridge and get our starter. This is how the Levant begins. Son, can you make us some sourdough? We're not really sure how it goes, but it's tangy and sour, takes 24 hours, so we're ready to give it a go. La-di-da-di-di-da, la-da-di-di-da-da-da. Okay. So here's how your Levant will look at first. And it's going to sit out all night and it'll be ready in the morning. We're going to tuck our starter back into the fridge. This is actually an hour later, right before I go to bed. But I have tucked it straight into the fridge right after doing it. We'll talk more about starters and care for sourdough in a different video. Good morning. So here we start with our sourdough recipe. It's 1 cup of whole wheat flour, and I'm using a 1/4 cup measure here because my jar lid is very narrow. And it's 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and I'm using a 1/2 cup measure here because I thought it was a whole cup measure. And then 1 cup and 1/4 cup of water into the starter. Here I'm going to add some more flour, so we have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Then we're going to mix it all together. It doesn't have to be completely perfect at this point, but we want it to start coming off the sides. And cover that with plastic and let it sit for 20 minutes. Once you mix in the salt, get the bowl ready with lightly greasing it. And then I like to do some taco folds to get the dough kind of tight into a ball. And then I put it back in the bowl, cover it with plastic, and that's going to sit for 30 minutes. So we're going to do the first of 4 folds. We stick our hand under it and pull it across itself, rotate it 45 degrees, and do this all the way around the dough, so about 8 folds. Try not to tear the dough, just stretch it over. Then we're going to cover it with plastic and let it sit for 30 minutes and do it again 4 times with 30 minutes in between them. This dough is a little less hydrated. I was noticing it's not as elastic as it should be. It's still going to work out. Every week's a little different. Flour, moisture in the air. Baking's not an exact science. No, it's not. No, okay. Maybe. After all those folds and the last sit, grease up our bread pan. I'm using an 8x4 because it fits in my bread box better, but this dough perfectly fills out a 9x5 as well. Probably just need an extra hour of raising time. It's going to be probably about 4 hours for the dough to rise, depending on the temperature. And you want to push out any large air pockets. If you see kind of an air bubble, just press that out. It's going to do a lot of rising right now. We don't want any real large gas pockets. So the bread is just to the lip, and that's usually when I start to preheat the oven because we want it to rise a little bit above it. Okay. I've got some trays of lava rocks here to help make steam. My wife was lovely enough to get these for me because she supports my baking problem. Before I had that, I just put a tray in the bottom and filled it with water, and it didn't look as cool, but it did work. 104. And there we go. Let's see. Moment of truth. There's our first cut. Oh, and it is 325, so it's cooled for 2 hours, 20 minutes. Oh, just looks great. I love that sound. And that's going to be our sandwich bread for this week. Thank you so much for sticking around and finishing the episode. I hope that you're really inspired to go and try making bread in your own kitchen, because that's really what I want to help people do, is feel how rewarding it is to make your own bread. I've been at this for about a year now, just once a week pretty much, making a loaf of bread and trying different recipes. There's so many recipes out there and really great advice. Please leave a comment on what you would like to see me bake next, or any other questions you have. It's a huge help. Please subscribe and like if you did enjoy this video, and stick around and see some other videos we have.